All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and we are here today to talk about the newly released 2021 Kia K5. No longer called the Optima. People are like, "Oh, it's dead. It's all this and that." This is the Optima, but they just rebranded it as the K5. That's all it is. Essentially, like the Korean name. A lot of people like to rebadge the Optimas that they have as a K5, and that's cool. I appreciate them adopting this nameplate. But names aside, I don't really care about that. This is a car. This is where Kia Hyundai really shines. These normal cars that they make, like the Fortes, the Optimas, the Sorrentos, Telluride, Sonatas, Santa Fe, stuff like this. This is where Kia Hyundai kills it. As soon as I saw this thing, I knew that this Kia Optima this Kia K5, this is a car worth owning and putting on your driveway. And I say this because I just recently drove the new Sonata, the 2020. It was a hybrid model, and I absolutely loved that. Chassis was great. It rode phenomenal. It was reasonably quiet. It wasn't perfect, but it was such a great package, and the price point is so good. But all of you guys, and I tend to agree with you on this, the Sonata is great. However, we knew that this new Optima was coming. There's also going to be a new Sorrento coming, but we knew that this new K5 was going to crush it. It was going to be like the far better looking version of the Sonata. And I have to agree, that's totally the case here. Yeah, I drove the Sonata. I appreciate the way it looks, and it got a ton of attention out on the road. However, this new K5, this is it right here. It doesn't really matter if you're young, old, whatever. Anybody can get in this, be in a great looking car, pull up to places, get a ton of positive attention, and it's just going to be a phenomenal piece of equipment. Now, unfortunately, I haven't driven the previous Optima. Actually, I used to get Kia press cars often. However, they changed the fleet company or whatever that they were using, and now they don't cater to my area anymore. So that blows, but whatever. I'm just going to pull up in the LC, and I'm just going to go to a Kia dealership and just get some Kia cars for you guys to review that way. So there you go. But yes, this Optima was released. I saw the entire kind of press release and all that good stuff, and I read all the little information that they put out. It's promising. I really like it. But first, let's talk about the looks. They went for this tiger nose thing like they used to do, but now they have like this shark mesh thing going on with the grill. And you know what? It really has this aggressive kind of shark-like look to it. Kia described it like this. This is no longer just a practical vehicle. Like, this is a car that's now aspirational to own. Like, people are going to aspire to own this thing. And you know what? I actually kind of agree with them. I can see like a lot of young people wanting this as like their first car, or even older folks who see this and they're like, wow, now that's a great looking car. I want to own that. And I can see that from both sides, so that's great. They described this thing, it was so funny in the press because they said that the new kind of headlight, daytime running light thing that they have going on, it's like that yellow light similar to like the Telluride. It's supposed to represent like a heartbeat kind of like scanning thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they put the thing on you and like, does a graph. It's funny that they mentioned that because I remember when I reviewed the Forte, I put up a little graphic of like a heart scanning thing, and I thought it was funny that they mentioned it for like the headlights here, so yeah, that's cool. So the front looks proper. The side profile kind of has like that Stinger shape to it. They love to say that they are injecting the Kia Stinger kind of DNA into all their cars. That's cool, but it's not actually a hatchback, but it has like that really crazy like sloped design, like an Audi A7 type look in the back. Like, it's really cool. I really do appreciate that. The rear looks great as well. They have like this full light bar thing going on for the rear. However, it's kind of like split up, like dotted out. It's very unique. It does not look like any other car on the road. I absolutely love. They killed it. They knocked it out of the park with this, and I'm sure the Sorrento is going to look phenomenal as well. Now, let's get into the guts of this vehicle. So what is this thing going to be powered by? It is going to be powered by only a 4-cylinder option. There's no V6s. Hell no, there's none of that. So what you get is 2 turbo 4-cylinder options. So the base engine is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo, produces about 180 horsepower and 195 pounds-feet of torque. Now, that's pretty good. I'm not tripping over that. That is very good. And the most important thing, with this engine, you have the option of getting an all-wheel drive system. So much like the new Camrys and stuff like that, the Mazda 3, which is not a mid-size sedan, but whatever. More and more of these car manufacturers are starting to offer all-wheel drive, and I think that's brilliant. That's going to help with the sales so much. Now, the other engine option is going to be a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo that produces 290 horsepower and 311 pounds-feet of torque. Now, those are some strong numbers, and it is so strong, in fact, that that vehicle is now like the fastest kind of Optima K5 midsize sedan thing that they've ever produced, like 5.8 seconds to 60 and all that stuff. I'm sure it's going to be a rocket ship. However, I don't think the all-wheel drive is available with that model. So I'm very curious about torque steer. I didn't really read anything or hear anything about an LSD being put into this vehicle, so that's a ton of power. Might be a little sloppy to drive. I don't know. They've refined the chassis. It's a new N3 platform and all that stuff. I'm sure it's going to handle fine, but that's my only concern. I would really appreciate being able to drive this car, but I'm not really tripping over that engine because a 1.6 liter is going to be great. And another reason why I like the 1.6 liter is because you get, like, Kia does two amazing like transmissions that is in-house built that they are responsible for: an 8-speed automatic, which is what the 1.6 liter vehicle gets, and I also love their IVT CVT transmission that they have. That chain driven CVT is one of the best ever made. There is not that option here. You actually get a real 8-speed automatic again, which is phenomenal. However, when you step up to that 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder, you're going to get an 8-speed wet clutch, like dual clutch transmission, essentially is what you're going to be getting. And I've tried their dual clutch transmissions in the Kia Soul and stuff like this. It's a little herky jerky. It's not the smoothest thing in the world. It's not my most favorite thing. Hopefully they did refine it here for this Optima, or I'm sorry, this K5, but we'll see about that. Again, I think a lot of people, they're going to go for that 1.6 liter because it's going to be priced amazing. That's another thing about Kia Hyundai. They always pretty much undercut the competition while giving you a sick car, essentially, like that looks great, plenty of features, safety features, all that stuff. So I really want to try that 2.5 liter. I'm sure it's going to be fast as hell. However, that 1.6 liter, that would be where my money goes to. Now, yes, you know, when they showed the press release and stuff like that, of course, they're going to use that fully loaded, like kind of sport looking type Kia K5 to show off, of course. So it's going to have like the 19-inch wheels and all that good stuff. There's a lot of different wheel options with this car, and what I like is that in the base option, they're going to give you a 16-inch wheel option. That's great. I absolutely love that. It's going to ride amazing, and tires are going to be cheap as hell too. But yes, the largest wheel you can get is a 19-inch. There's also some 18s on offer as well. A lot of you might be asking, what is the difference between Kia and a Hyundai? Put it simply, I mean, yes, they are kind of like the similar cars. They're based upon the same platforms and all that stuff, but there is a difference. It comes down to obviously the styling, but also the tuning. Kia is kind of the spunkier, kind of youthful, sporty-ish counterpart to Hyundai. Hyundai tries to be a little bit more bougie, a little bit more on the luxury side. They're a little bit quieter, more so tuned for comfort. Kia does not exactly sacrifice comfort and all that stuff. It's still going to be a refined vehicle. They do still focus on that. However, you know, they try to, you know, steering is a little bit more reactive and all this good stuff. So that's what you can kind of expect out of a Kia, you know, slightly more dynamic vehicle, dynamic counterpart to the Sonatas and stuff like that, the Hyundais in general, actually. Now for this platform, of course, they made it longer, they made it a little bit wider, lower, all that good stuff, right? So that's going to help with the stability of this vehicle. Also, they've kind of lowered the center of gravity by making the seating position a little bit lower. Again, it's that more sportier vehicle, so that's great. I like how the midsize segment has gotten very aggressive and sporty now. I think that's very cool. I think a lot of like the youth and stuff like that are going to aspire to own this thing because of that. Now, this vehicle is going to be using acoustic laminated glass throughout the entire cabin. That's great for all the trims. They made sure to focus on refinement. You know, they really made sure to use some sound deadening materials to make this a quieter vehicle. So it's another thing that I really appreciate Kia focusing in on. Yes, the Sonata was very quiet. However, there are issues with the Hyundai windshields and stuff like that. There's been like a class action lawsuit or something like that. They are cracking. Actually, the windshield cracked on me. Yes, the Sonata was very quiet. However, I noticed on higher speeds that it's probably because of the weak windshield or whatever. There's a lot more like noise and wind noise coming through from the front. So hopefully Kia is using a superior or better, like, you know what I'm saying, windshield manufacturer to get their windshields from. So, or a supplier. So that'd be a good thing to see and hear about. But, you know, they are making efforts to make the new Kia K5 quieter, so I like that. Now, the interior tech. So obviously Kia Hyundai, they have a phenomenal interior space, highly ergonomic, superior to Toyota actually, and all the touch points are going to be good with this thing. It's going to be built solid, it's going to age extremely well because that's just how they do it. Now, of course, I can expect to see some hard touch plastics down the lower parts of the car. That's all of the mid-size cars, so I'm not tripping over that. But yes, it's going to utilize a 10.25-inch screen. It's going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, this time it's going to be wireless. It's going to be wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, similar to BMW. Now you're going to have a faster wireless charging port, so that's a nice thing to see. historically always offered a wireless charging port. However, it wasn't the fastest thing in the world, so they said that they sped it up this time, so that's good. But yeah, the cockpit has like this, they tout like this aircraft type thing going on with the gear shifter, and it's got the flat bottom steering wheel. That's cool. I like to see that. So I'm sure the interior cabin space is going to be very accommodating, because they did make this vehicle longer, so that's going to be good. I saw the trunk. The trunk was a great size. It's going to be still going to be a very nice practical machine, so I like that. I'm sure this thing is going to be strut-based suspension up front, multi-link in the rear, typical in this class. Those are some of the things that you can expect. It's going to be full of all the latest safety tech and all that stuff. It's going to be well optioned, well equipped. It's going to pretty much undercut all the competition while looking extremely good. And this is going to be a great car to drive. I love the Forte. I love the Soul. The Telluride, I lusted for that thing. I even thought about buying that thing. That's how much I loved the Telluride. So I love every single Kia aside from the Stinger. That's what I've historically said. This is going to be a car worth driving and worth putting on your driveway. Essentially, they know how to make normal cars extremely well. They tune it perfectly. Like, there's no weird steering or anything like that. They always ride pretty good. Features that you want, look really nice. It's going to be a great car at an affordable price, along with a decade-long warranty. So this thing looks promising. I'm going to try to get my hands on this thing, unless I move and I can get press cars from Kia again. I'll see what the future has to hold, but in the meantime, I'm going to try and hook up with the dealership, see what they have to say. But yes, that's a quick little look at the new Kia K5. Let me know your thoughts below. Is it something that you are waiting for? Is it something that you're going to buy? Are you excited for it? Do you think it's going to be a good car? If you're a current owner of an Optima, let me know, and let me know if you're going to upgrade to this new K5. So with that, thank you again for watching. Take care, and goodbye.